there, everybody. It's Mike DeLisio with another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the newest big box Uwe Rosenberg game coming from Lookout Games. This is Hallertau, and this is an expert level game, so you're thinking probably something along the lines of A Feast for Odin or Caverna, some of his larger games. This is 1 to 4 players. It says 50 to 140 minutes, depending on player count. I believe this is about hops. The Hallertau in Bavaria, Germany is the largest continuous hop producing region in the world. So yes, apparently it is. Progressive worker placement. Action spaces can be used multiple times, becoming more expensive in the process. A 2-field rotation system. Sheep with an expiration date. My goodness. And then card combos. Well, I don't know. The look and the sound of this screams Uwe Rosenberg worker placement game. And for many of us, myself included, that is something to be excited about. Let's take a look inside. I imagine a lot of cardboard and a lot of wooden components and a lot of cards. So we've got our rule book here. We'll just take a quick flip through these. If you've played any of the Lookout Uwe Rosenberg games, it's probably going to have some things that look very, very familiar to you. For example, these wooden components look pretty familiar, although there's some new stuff in here. You've got some flax. I'm not used to seeing flax. You got hops, obviously. That's going to be specific to this game. All right, so it's got an overview here along with the component list. This is our setup, which is going to be probably relatively involved, as these games usually have a fair amount of setup. We've got our different resources here. The course of play, it's played over the course of 6 rounds, each comprising 10 phases in a very particular order. Removing workers, new workers, income, actions, which is in red, so probably that's going to take up a lot of time. A new card, fallow fields, harvest, milking, progress, also in red, and boulders? Yes, boulders. All right, so it goes into more detail about each of those phases. Obviously, the actions is going to be a little bit larger of an area, and I'll probably go into more detail about each of the action spaces, I would imagine as well. We kind of see a little bit of that here. Anytime actions, and then you've got the game end and scoring. Looks like there's also some variants. There's a no cards variant, which I believe there's similar things with Agricola and games along those lines where you can make things a bit more simplified for your first couple of games, or more casual gamers to take those cards out. It also has a solo game with some tips, and then an appendix of the different cards and action spaces and things along those lines, all of the different cards that you have. All right, wow, and there's a lot of cards. Lots of cards. Okay, well, let's take a look at the components here. I'll put these decks of cards off to the side for a moment. Let's take a look at our wooden components. Here we've got a number of different resources. I'm not going to go into each of these in tremendous detail, but you can get an idea for the size and the quality. These are typical wooden components that you'll find in Uwe Rosenberg worker placement games, meaning that they are perfectly functional and quite nice, in my opinion. All right, lots of blue cubes. Blue seems to be the order of the day on this one. We've also got some hides here, and looks like some meat. All right, so lots of wooden components. Also, a whole lot of baggies. You know, in an Uwe Rosenberg worker placement game, baggies, if you don't have an insert, are a must. Here's a score sheet, score pad, I should say. Whole lot of cardboard. First, we'll look at the board here. This is going to be, I assume, where you're placing those blue cubes. So these, it looks like the worker placement spots, okay? The different places you can go to do the different things. Sheep breeding, sheep shearing, butchery, the nursery, clay delivery, farming, busy weekend. All right, so you can get the idea here. This looks like, again, our central worker placement board. That's a little bit of conjecture there, but I don't think it's too big of a leap I'm making. Lots and lots of cardboard here, okay? We've got many boards that are going to be in part of this, fields, goods, and tools. Different places to probably place either resources or workers. I'm not exactly sure, but really for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to kind of show you these different sheets, and you can just get a bit of an idea of things here, okay? There we go. but the quality of the cardboard is quite good. If you've played other games that are kind of in this similar series, like Caverna or Agricola or Feast for Odin, you've got probably a pretty good idea already on the scale and scope and quality of the materials. This one looks like it's a fold-out board here, maybe. Almost looks like a score tracker to me, some type. Got a nice round overview, cardboard tile there. Got another, wow, we've got, oh, these must be player boards. I'm assuming now because it looks like there's one per player here. So these could be player boards. And along with a round overview for each player. So that would make sense, okay? All right, well, let's look at some cards because there's a lot of them. These are the mini Euro size cards. You see these a lot in Uwe's games. Okay, and I'm just going to go through these very, very quickly so you can get an idea of the iconography and the art direction. And again, this opening this box to me, although this is a brand new game and I'm sure it plays somewhat differently from other games that Uwe has designed, this feels very familiar to me. You know, the iconography, just the setup of the game makes me feel like I have an indication already, a little bit of a head start on how the game will play out. Because you do tend to see some similar mechanics and some similar ideas that are kind of hallmarks of these larger Uwe Rosenberg worker placement games. And so there's a little bit of a sense of, oh, I don't know, comfort or familiarity with that. All right. Might as well just go ahead and open up this last deck since we've already looked at the first two and we're not spending a lot of time on them. There are a lot of cards here, and this is going to be where I think a lot of the variability in the game is going to come from, is which cards come out. They're going to likely inform your strategy quite a bit. If you're going to be going for one particular strategy, maybe a farming strategy, maybe more of a sheep breeding. It looks like there's sheep breeding of some sort in here. So that's probably where you're going to find most of your strategy variation within the game. All right, well, big box, a whole lot of cardboard, whole lot of cards. That is Hallertau. Thank you for watching another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing.